It's live on KEXP. I'm your host, DJ Kevin Cole from listener-powered independent 90.3 FM in Seattle, 92.7 in the Bay Area, and streaming 24/7 online. We are a nonprofit. These live performances are made possible by donations from listeners just like you, so thanks to everybody who's donated. And joining me in the studio today, it's Nick Lowe and Lowe Straitjackets. Welcome to KEXP.
I went to a party, it was jumping and I went for it hardy. I had on my bad suit, started jigging to the one with the jazz flute. I told myself I wouldn't stay late, just put my face round the door. Next time I checked, it was coming on 3:45. And my feet were getting sore. I went to a party. It was like an indoor safari. Round the water hole of Campari. But I feel alright. Oh, I feel alright now. You could say it was high tone, but I was representing the low zone. Yes, I was. A man came up, said I got all your stuff, it's just sublime. But for me, your best is prepare the time. I said, where do I sign? I went to a party. I went to a party. I went to a party. DJ's new idea. A voice in my head said maybe it's time to get out of here. It's very clear. It's been fun, but it's time to cut along. I went to a party. Hey, I went to a party. Hey, hey, went to a party. Hey, I went to a party. Love Starvation? Yeah, that's good. Yep. Yep, ready? Yep. 1, 2. I woke up early with love starvation, hugging my pillow all alone in a rickety bed. Baby, if it's any consolation, the needle's in the red. It only hit me when I went by a mirror. Just when I saw what was written all over my face. I'm suffering love starvation, a very bad case. I tell you something about love starvation. It's like a prison in your mind you're locked up in. Disappointment, desperation, your two old friends. Make it stop, if only I could turn back the clock. Make it so, cause I tell you that I can't exist in a world like this. starvation, baby. Love, starvation, baby. Love, 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 love. To sit it out a time or two. Usually it comes around when dawn's cruel light's breaking through. But over you, it's a different kind of blue. Sad to say, when it comes around these days, it's like an old friend that's moved into my address in a fog of hopelessness without end. Over you, it's a different kind of blue. Over you, I'm a different kind of blue. I'm lonely and I miss you grievously, in the night especially, wandering over you. I know they say what's done is done, but if the lover's gone, move along. That's the grown-up thing to do. I know this kind of feeling, I've had to sit it out a time or two. Usually it comes around when dawn's cruel light's breaking through. Sad to say, when it comes around these days, it's like an old friend. Over you, it's a different kind of blue. Over you, I'm a different kind of blue. Different kind of blue this time. Different kind of blue. Different kind of blue. I'll be a long gone daddy. I'll be a long gone daddy when they find my note. Just for the record, this is what I wrote. I'm relocating to a foreign shore. You won't have me to pick around no more. You can't make me stay, I'm leaving today. It's anchors away, I'm shipping out to Tokyo back. There's a solemn little geisha pining for me under a parasol out on the quay. She knows I'm coming from beyond the sea, and she's hoping and praying most fervently that the days of day are gone smoking into Tokyo Bay. Well, I'll find the liner, then my plans to work my ticket to some kind of hand. Maybe picking up after the cabaret band. Anything to get my toes in the sand of Tokyo Bay. Oh, yeah. Hey. Side canteen, I know, with my collar turned up and my back down low, all dressed up like a Martlew. I got my grip in my hand, ready to go. I'll be a long gone daddy when they find my dog. Just for the record, this is what I wrote now. I'm leaving today, so glad to say I'm heading up the gangway, bound for Tokyo Bay. Tokyo Bay. I'll be a long gone daddy, be a long gone daddy, long gone daddy, so long. That's all I wrote.
Nick Lowe and Lowe Straitjackets, live on KEXP. Man, so beautiful. 4 songs from the new album. Just heard Tokyo Bay, Different Kind of Blue, Love Starvation, and Went to a Party, all from Indoor Safari. Man, sounding fantastic. I don't even know where to start. There's so much. You both have such a deep, rich discographies. And I believe your paths first crossed in 2001, when Nick, you played bass on Shake That Rat. That was on Sing Along with Lowe Straitjackets. But then really picked things up back in 2016-ish or so. So for the last decade, you guys played together on and off. But Nick, it wasn't until recently that you just released your first album of original music in like over a decade. And what was kind of the impetus or the inspiration for releasing a full-length album at this point?
We had found as our audience, the audience for this particular act started growing, that it was becoming evident that we should have some sort of recording of ourselves available, at least just on the merch stand. You know, if we had no great ambitions further than that. So we found ourselves faced with a problem when we started to record, because we could only do it, because I live in London and the boys live in the United States, we could only do it when we were actually on tour. So we'd pick a random city that we were appearing at and book a studio and go in and do what we could. But very often you didn't know what you were going to get, you know, when you got to what sort of a studio you were going to get. And also, in some cases, that the songs that I was coming up with weren't entirely finished, really. So we did our best. You know, we recorded versions of these songs, and we released 3 4-track EPs over a period of about 3 years.
It's cool that you were okay with putting that out. But
yeah,
you know, not being too precious about it.
As I said, we put out 3 4-track EPs over about 3 years, and then it was suggested that maybe we should put them all together on a vinyl album, which in principle I thought was a good idea, except that we were doing the tunes much better, because the thing about this kind of music that we do is that it's pretty simple, but it only really gets a personality and gets some sort of heft after you've played it in front of a live audience, played the songs in front of a live audience sort of 6 or 7 times at least. And then the thing starts getting going then. And by this time, these songs had really taken shape. So I wanted to re-record some of them, and even the ones the original recordings replaced vocals at least, and with the way this song actually goes, in some cases.
Yeah, I'm sure. Spend more time with the songs. And also, as you mentioned, the songs evolve.
Yeah.
As you play them more. And do they change much, though? Like when the structure of the songs, like based on audience feedback and how you see people responding?
Oh, definitely. But the thing is, with Los Straitjackets, I think, in a way, because they're an instrumental group, they're great at arranging the songs. And it's a guitar group. We don't have any laborious keyboard parts or anything, to get in the way. So the group is very good at arranging the songs for four pieces, five with me as well, and you can hear them evolving, as time goes on, and until it almost feels like we're playing a cover of someone else's song. When you get it right, it seems very, very natural and easy to do.
Well, it's such a good thing for us fans and music lovers to have Indoor Safari and have just, the beautiful recordings, like a song like A Different Kind of Blue has such sublime parts to it that just shimmer in the recorded versions.
Oh, great. Well, I'm very pleased to hear that. We occasionally do that on stage. We decided to do it today, just to, because it's a bit different.
Oh, nice. So you don't normally play that one live?
No, we don't normally. We do occasionally, yeah.
So you've had a remarkable career, both as an artist and a producer, and as I mentioned, you've got a deep, rich discography. How was recording this album in the studio different for you? Was it different?
Not in principle. No, it was the same. It was the same thing because I like to, when I can, do the vocals at the same time as we cut the music. It's not essential. I can do it the way most people do make records now. But I think with the kind of music I do, it just sort of sounds better when the vocal is recorded at the same time, and that sort of thing doesn't freak out Los Straitjackets. They couldn't care less actually when I do the vocals.
Yeah. Well, there's probably a cool element to that, like sort of a added level of tension, right? You want to get it right.
Yeah, it sort of is. But I like that. You can get another sort of a kind of atmosphere to it. I mean, a bum note is a bum note, and you do it again, But if it's something that's a little off, but it's got a good feel, that's far preferable to me.
Yeah. Back when you were house producer at Stiff, you had the nickname the Basher, and I might not get this quote quite right, but I read that it was, well, you used to tell bands, just bash it out and I'll tart it up later.
Yes.
Did you bash this record out?
No. It takes an enormous amount of care and thought to write a song and to record it so that it sounds like you've done it like that. So that it sounds like you've just knocked it off, and just gone in there and it's taken no time at all. It takes an extraordinary amount of thought. We might not record it many times, but the sort of the feeling and the making sure everyone's on the same page and makes it a pleasant experience, and not too grueling, takes a lot of forethought. So it's no, it's not bashed out at all.
So, in a way, you've evolved from that approach. yet at the same time, it's really all about spirit.
Yeah, it is really. Yeah, I
And-
think. In my case, just in my case, there's fantastic records which are made with, where they spend 3 weeks over getting the bass drum sound, and they, Jeff Lynne, anyone? He doesn't,
Bash anything out.
bash anything out. No, but it sounds terrific.
From the Lowe Straitjackets perspective, you've worked with Nick quite a while now. How was recording this album for you? Was it different in any way?
Not really. I don't think. We like to do the same as what Nick was saying. Just try to capture a live sound as live as possible.
Yeah.
And hopefully it's a good song. That's what matters more.
Well, speaking of good songs, Nick, you've written one of the greatest rock songs ever. What's so funny about Peace, Love, and Understanding, and a ton of classics, So It Goes, and Cruel to Be Kind, and I Knew the Bride, and She's Got Soul, and could go on and on. But are there songs of yours that you feel are underappreciated?
Oh yeah, so quite a lot of them actually.
That's good.
Yeah, I yes, there's one or two that I've come up with which I think I'm surprised haven't been covered by people, because I'm lucky enough to have had a number of my songs covered. Which is really my main interest. Is to get other people to do my tunes. And go out on the road and promote them, so that I don't have to. Yes, there certainly is one or two that I think I'm disappointed that they haven't been spotted.
And which ones are those?
Well, I've got a song which actually we do in our show, a song called "House for Sale," which is I think is a very good song, and we do a great version of it, I think, as well. And it's quite it's hard to pin down what type of music it slots into, but that's good. I think I have another song called "I Read a Lot" as well, which I would have liked Michael Bublé to have had a look at that one.
Michael, if you're watching this, check it out.
Yes, Michael. And one or two others besides.
Have you had a situation where, like, 10 years later, 20 years later, 30 years later, suddenly somebody picks a song that you'd maybe long forgotten about and uses it in...
Yeah, it does happen, yeah.
That's got to be a great feeling.
Because tastes change, and you're regarded differently, with those changing tastes. I see a lot of younger people at our shows now, which is fantastic. I'm really, really thrilled that that's happening.
Yeah, that is fantastic. I'd love to think there's a place in the world for people to love Nick Lowe and new music and old music from you, and Lowe Straitjackets, and also love Charlie XCX.
I agree.
So, speaking of people, or artists that have covered your songs, your father-in-law, Johnny Cash, has covered your songs.
Ex-father-in-law. My father-in-law now would be quite annoyed to hear.
Okay, this maybe is too personal then. Your ex-father-in-law, and a lot of listeners, viewers might not know that. What was it like sitting at the dinner table with him?
It was always, quite, as you would imagine it would be, quite alarming to start with. He was a fabulous guy, but the most charismatic person I've ever met, which was quite overwhelming for about the first 20 minutes. Every time I met him, because I didn't see him all the time, because I was living in London, and of course he spent most of his time in the United States. But whenever I'd see him, for the first about 20 minutes, I was just sort of monosyllabic, and I couldn't get a grip. But after a while, he was extremely I mean, I don't want to use the word ordinary because he was anything but ordinary, but he was like any other one of my friends, that I felt totally relaxed with, and it was just the same. I remember when we used to listen to music together, it was exactly the same way as if I listened to records with my friends. We were enthusiastic about it. He was really enthusiastic, and he'd say, "Oh, listen to this one," and trying to get the needle in the groove, and
That is the
messing
greatest.
it up, just the same. He was a super guy, and June as well, who I adored as well.
Did he give you any fatherly advice or any advice as a musician that you would give to new independent artists now?
He did actually. One was never refer to it as my last record. He used to say, "You never say this on my last record." He says, "It's always your latest, never your last one." He told me that one, and the other thing he told me was I was extremely disappointed about. He said, "Nick, what you've got to learn in this business is to be yourself." And I thought, is that it? Johnny Cash is telling me because that's what every old comedian and old film star, they always say, "Oh yeah, well, you just got to go out there and be yourself." I was really sort of disappointed when he gave me that. But when the years have gone by, I've realized that there's a reason why people say that, because it is true. If you can, when you're young, you're always trying to cop another act. You think, "Oh, people don't want to see me, I'm too boring," So you're always trying to be somebody else. And once you can get over that, and put yourself out there, warts and all, you are starting, you stand a chance of getting in the, doing the business.
Yeah.
And so I was glad he told me that. And at the age of about 45 or whatever I was, it took me long enough.
Well, it's a very sort of Zen thing. But it's true, being your authentic self sometimes takes a lifetime to discover.
Yeah.
And as an artist, you're so right. Like as a young musician, you have all these influences that you're excited about, and you probably...
Yeah, you try and cover yourself up in it, and it doesn't really fool anybody.
So it's Nick Lowe and Lowe Straitjackets. The latest album is Indoor
That's
Safari.
right.
And I think you have a new version, a live version coming out on Record Store Day called Not Indoor Safari.
Is that right?
Am I the one?
That's news to all of us, I think.
I saw it on the record. I mean, I follow this very closely on the Record Store Day release list. So maybe that will be out. Maybe it won't be out. Yes, I'll save you a copy. So, one, it is great to have this record, the latest album, and on vinyl. And you just described a beautiful situation listening to music with Johnny Cash. And I was going to ask you if you're an album guy. Are you a record collector? And is there any new album that you love that you would, if you were sitting around with a group of folks at home, just like, you got to hear this?
No, I must admit I'm not anymore. I'm a sort of song collector. I'm always interested in hearing new songs, but I like listening to compilations and things like that. I very rarely sit down with albums. I listen to much more jazz now actually than I ever used to. So when I'm on my own, my wife and my boy, when we're at home, they're the kind of people who have to have music on all the time. Drives me round the twist. They can't get in a car or go anywhere, do anything without putting some music on. So I hear tons and tons of it. But if I'm on my own, I tend to listen to jazz music usually.
Is there a jazz album lately that's sort of a comfort album for you to unwind on?
At the moment, I've got a record by Bobby Hutcherson which I really like, and Horace Silver is somebody else who I'm enjoying. But I can't remember the titles of them because I listen to them on
just streaming or
Spotify. Yeah.
Again, it's Nick Lowe, Lowe Straitjackets. Really appreciate you performing for us and KEXP community today and sharing your thoughts. It's just it's a real honor to have you in here.
Well, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah. Nick Lowe, Straitjackets, live on KEXP. And big time thanks to the KEXP crew. Thanks to everybody listening and watching. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. You get notifications every time we launch a video like this one. And again, thanks to everybody who donates and makes them possible. I'm Kevin Cole. This is live on KEXP. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Discover new music at listener-powered KEXP.org.